And we're live. Hey guys, welcome to Whiskey Charlie, the War Game Chat. We're doing a special show tonight, not our usual show. And joining me tonight is Brant from Orange Hair Dragoons. We are in our first virtual Orange Hair Dragoons assembly, and being that we can't have conventions where we can be playing face to face, we're doing it, virtually. And this is our little happy hour / welcome time for you guys. So welcome aboard. And hey, Brant, thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you, man. You're doing a lot of the heavy lifting with the talk shows and such as a part of all this thing. So thank you very much for being sort of the social host for this whole weekend we're doing here. So I say the whole weekend like it's a day and a half, but
Well, it's a full weekend, that's for sure, because there's plenty of events and there's plenty of people that'll be doing things, and we've even got, as we were saying online on Twitter, we've even got some door prizes. So. And then Harold Buchanan was the first one to say door prizes. And then you're like, no, virtual door prizes. So it's like, there's no real true door.
They're real prizes. It's a fake door.
Absolutely.
So
a little word on that. We've got two major sponsors here for this, and we want to thank them first off before we get any further. And that's Academy Games and Lock and Load Publishing. They are the ones providing some of the prizes that we're giving out, and also we're giving some prizes ourselves. So together we kind of just threw this together really fast, and we're just trying to make the best of the situation as it is right now, and a little bit of distraction and have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, look, we lost all of our actual conventions thanks to the plague. So that kind of it's funny. Anybody that was listening to the podcast that I recorded with Harold, that released like 2 weeks ago or so. It's funny because on that podcast, we're talking about the fact that Origins Online is still supposed to happen and Origins has been delayed to October. And of course, neither of those has ended up happening. But yeah, so, look, we lost Origins, Gen Con, WBC, Historicon, Adepticon, like you pick it, we lost it. So we're like, let's try and do something virtual and see what happens. Here we are.
That was rough. It was like 1 con down, 2 con down. Maybe we can get this one. We'll push it to the end of the year or later in the year. Nope. That ain't gonna happen.
So the one that's hanging on right now, that's sort of, clinging to the hopes with their fingernails, Mace in Charlotte every year in November, the Mid-Atlantic Convention and Expo that Jeff Smith runs, is still officially going to happen. Now, there's probably going to be some occupancy limits and such. Look, anytime I've mentioned a convention, it's been the kiss of death, right? So I'm hoping that this doesn't
say anything.
But as of now, Mace is still supposed to happen in Charlotte in November, and I just talked to Jeff earlier this week, and he said he's still planning on going with it. So wow. We'll hope that it's there, and maybe we'll make an appearance and show up for a while at Mace and hope for the best. So
when you see Brant at the next convention, call him the convention killer because he keeps bringing them up and they keep dying. So it's all his fault.
Apparently, it's all my fault. You were mentioning Lock and Load and Academy, and both those guys have provided some prizes and like GMs running events as well, because there's actually an Academy Games Conflict of Heroes game going on right now while we're talking here. There's also they've got 2 more events scheduled tomorrow. Lock and Load has stuff all weekend long. They've got some World at War 85 and Lock and Load tactical stuff going on, in addition to the interviews you're doing tomorrow with Uwe and Dave. One other group that has jumped in and given us a little bit of love. Every year at Origins, the company that is sort of GMT's official rep at Origins is Enterprise Games out of Indianapolis. And Enterprise is they're retail only. They're not like a publisher or anything. They do new and used games, and it's run by Don Pauly and his wife, and they are fabulous people. They're some of the nicest folks on the planet, and they've been working with us at Origins for 4 or 5 years now, as the official GMT rep there. Again, we lost Origins, but Enterprise Games did still want to do something for convention folks here. And so if you use just the word Enterprise as a coupon code on their site this weekend during our convention, so starting today at noon through Sunday night midnight, you're going to save 20% site-wide.
Sweet.
Nice. Yeah, so folks that want to go save a couple of bucks, and that's on new and used stuff. So if you're looking for some rare oddball collectible stuff, one of the things Don has in his warehouse, and I don't know if it's for sale or not, he's got Gary Gygax's copy of Napoleon at Waterloo, signed by Gary.
Wow.
And
it's like nerd heaven right there.
Oh yeah. On more than a few occasions, several of the Dragoons have threatened to invade Don's warehouse and simply move in and just order pizza for the rest of their lives and sit there and play games in Don's warehouse.
Yeah. So, that would be one of those places you want to go to in the zombie apocalypse. We got to get that. We got to get food, and then we got to get that.
Yes. Yes.
So we're set.
So we definitely want to thank Don and Enterprise Games for that. And then also, it was a late thing. They weren't able to provide the GMs because of just work schedules and work conflicts. But the Wargaming Company, the Minis guys that are called the Wargaming Company, David and Stennis and his wife, they're doing a 15% site-wide sale this weekend. Also, it's the code is Armchair Dragoon, singular. Is what David sent over to me as the code to use there. So we've got a couple of different folks that aren't even here necessarily, but are still supporting the convention, and that's really cool. So
that is really great. Yeah, that's great. Because right now, like we were saying, it's just one of those. It's been I was just saying this the other day. How screwed up this year's been. This is the first time in my entire life that on my birthday, which was just a couple days ago, I was able to watch live NHL hockey. That's how screwed up 2020 is.
Yeah.
Like, damn, dude. I mean, normally it's like, on my birthday, I could always watch hockey. I could watch replays on NHL Network or something, but not live stuff. I was like, damn. And it just hit me. I was like, wow, this is really strange. I'm watching live NHL hockey on my birthday. Wow.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone.
Mine was just a week ago also. Hockey hadn't quite started yet, so you're a couple days behind me apparently. But yeah, it has been quite the screwball year. It's going to be fun tomorrow because I'm keeping an eye on the convention stuff. Like I'm in the Discord server, helping welcome people to the show and get people to the right place and everything. And I've got a couple of the seminars that I'm a part of, including mine tomorrow at 2:00.
Nice.
I scheduled that before I knew that Canes Rangers was going to be at 1.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be, you'd be like, okay. Oh, man. Oh, sorry. What I was saying was, like that, you'll be constantly looking off to the side. So it'll be funny to watch Body English on that one. You'll be like, oh.
I think I'm just going to go full screen slides for that. So that way I can keep an eye on the game on the side.
Just remember to mute when something good or bad happens. So that way you don't kind of get sidetracked. But wanted to point to the crowd here for a little bit. And we have
absolutely.
People from all over. Andre Garcia. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's not Andres. It's Andre. Hello from Spain. Hello to you too. And thanks for joining us all the way from Spain.
Andre is one of our Saturday Night Fights regulars that is always jumping in, watching on Saturday nights when he can and saying hi. And we've got a pretty regular collection of the Dragoons piling in there with, I'm seeing BB Mike. I'm seeing OJ's dad in there. Howdy Harold. and Keith is in there from Lock and Load.
Yep.
And then Ryan is joining us. Ryan is not just the GM on Brave Little Belgium. He's one of the designers. So
yes,
you got the dudes that made the game helping GM it, which is all kinds of cool.
Pretty awesome. It definitely is. And it's a great little game. If you've not played it, you need to get into that event if there's still spaces. If not, you need to watch it because it's a really fun game. And it's a type of game that you can play with your friends, your family, and you even play solo because it's Chitpole. And you can play with anyone and you can hook in new non-war gamers and show them that, hey, war games are actually pretty darn cool. And they won't even realize. I mean, they will, but they won't feel like they're playing a really dense war game because it's not dense. It's simple. And that's how you set the hook. And then once you do that, then you're like, hey, come on over here. Let's play this one. And then you just build on that from that. Next thing you know is you're playing like, Unconditional Surrender, ASL, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not in a week or two, but, over time. And you got yourself a long-term partner, hopefully.
You can work them up to it. So we need to reply to our buddy John Longshore there. There's your link for where to find the information on the Virtual Dragoons assembly that's going on. I will tell you, so Brave Little Belgium was the first event to sell out all of their iterations for this weekend. Ryan was running 2 different sessions. They both sold out. I think a space opened up in one of them because one of the players was having some internet difficulty, and I was CC'd on some of the email traffic about it. I don't know if that seat's been filled yet or not, if it's been refilled, but Brave Little Belgium was our first sellout in Virtual Dragoons Assembly history. So that kudos to Ryan.
Nice.
So that was kind of cool.
So Keith was asking, so which game would you take during the zombie apocalypse? Well, right to the important stuff.
If you take Campaign for North Africa, like it will last longer than the zombie apocalypse.
Probably.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I'd just have one. There's like a bunch that I would enjoy. So,
well, there's one easy answer to that. I'd have the whole warehouse. So the one warehouse. Problem solved.
There you go.
The only thing that sucks is when you had a question on rules, you'd be like, "Oh man, where's the errata? Everything's down. Can't get to the internet now." So it's like, oh damn. So you'd have to just wing it at that point.
Yeah. So we're back to 1992, and we're just making it up as we go.
Exactly. At that point, you can't even do mail-in. You can't even do mail-in. Like, mail your question that can be answered with a yes or no in a self-addressed stamped envelope. It's like, it'd be kind of fun. But we got 2 more spots in the Forlorn Hope event tomorrow.
Yep. I'm pulling up events real quick just to see what we've still got some spaces for if we want to try and wrangle some people into some stuff. So Conflict of Heroes tomorrow evening, I think, still has a couple. Nice. Forlorn Hope does still have 2 more seats with Mark there. I know that some of the big games that Jim Ozarski's running, the Prokhorovka game tomorrow evening, has 3 seats still available, and the Salamanca, the Epic Command and Colors Napoleonics game, still has 2 people available. Those are 8-player games, so there's 4 on a side for each of those. So those are some pretty big ones there that he's going to be doing. Devin's still got 1 seat available for Storm in the Gap, for World at War 85 Storm in the Gap. And then I think one of the Lock and Load tactical games still has, so there's a Lock and Load tactical game tonight, and there's another one tomorrow. Both of them still have some seats available as well.
Nice.
So there's a handful. Look, we're trying to cover a lot of bases here. Like, it's not just the games from the sponsors. We've got Brave Little Belgium in there. Ardwolf is doing great campaigns, the American Civil War. He's got a Cedar Mountain game. It looks like he's still got a seat available in one of those. So we're covering a lot of ground here.
Absolutely.
We're trying to, at least.
Yeah. And you can always use the Discord server, too, to set up your own games. You don't have to necessarily be locked into an event. If you see an event and you're like, wow, it looks like a really cool game, I want to play it right now, and you find somebody else who wants to, go for it. That's what this is for. Use it as a way to not only learn new games by having them shown, but meet with new people, make some new friends, just like you do at a convention. Take a game virtually over to the virtual table and sit down and play. This is what we've got this year, so make the best of what we can out of it, and we'll keep the Discord thing going too. So that way, if anybody you meet now, you can continue on that relationship and hopefully be able to play on Tabletop Simulator, on Tabletopia, on Vassal, whatever it is you guys want to play, or with your webcam, because you can play some games with the webcam as well.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to see one of those actually work out because I've heard people talking about it, but I'm dying to see one and how you actually pull it off. So.
I think it's better for like an RPG. Which
I could see that.
Is funny. I just actually bought my first RPG in years today.
What'd you grab?
Alien.
Oh,
couldn't pass it up. They got a box set, or they got a starter set, and then they have an expansion. So they had a bundle, and I was like, you know what? This will hold me over till Glorious Day in the Core comes out. So I figured, what the heck? Now I just got to get some people online to do a campaign. I've not played RPGs in years, but that one right there is right up my alley. So I got to check that out for sure.
Yeah. Well, ping Ardwolf, because he's always up for playing an RPG at some point, and
nice.
Especially if you can get some sci-fi stuff in there. So you mentioned the Discord thing. It kind of being the pickup game mechanism we've got. Look, as best we could, we tried to replicate being at a real convention through these online medium like we've got here. That's what we're doing right now, right? This is the digital equivalent of us trying to, just hang out around the bar the night before the convention kicks off, or shortly before the convention kicks off, and just have a good time talking some games. The reason we want to stream as much as we can is we want people to be able to have kind of that experience of walking through the game hall and just looking over people's shoulders and going, hey, what's that? That looks kind of cool. So we're trying to stream as much as we can. We've got the seminars similar to the seminar talks that we do at things like the Origins of War College. WBC does them, and so we're trying as best we can to replicate a real convention feel, given the constraints we're stuck with. It like you said at the start of all this, it sort of sucks that we're in this world, but that doesn't mean we have to let it suck as much as possible. We can try and minimize the suck, and that's what we're trying to do here. So.
Exactly. And as the saying goes, improvise, overcome, and adapt. And that's what we're doing here and making the best of it. And we've been, I think a lot of people have really done a great job over the past several months with this and found that, hey, this is actually pretty cool playing virtually.
Yeah. It's funny because, we've, I'm going to brag on the Dragoons here a little bit, but it's mostly Cyrano. It's mostly Jim Ozarski was the kind of the lead sled dog in all this. We've been doing Tabletop Simulator or similar things streaming online for over 18 months now. Yeah. If you go look at the Wargame Night category on our site, we've got stuff going all the way back into 2018, where Jim has been running these Saturday night things and then expanded into Wednesdays. He does stream games. He and his son had this project this year that they're going to play all of the major Napoleonic battles on the anniversary of the battle all year long in the Commands and Colors Napoleonics engine. And they said, this started life as a great idea. Like all great ideas, it quickly got out of hand. But he and his son have been playing all these things, and they're streaming most of them. So, we've been on Tabletop Simulator for quite a while now doing this stuff. And so when the pandemic hit, it's like, okay, we're still playing Tabletop Simulator. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
We lost Origins, but we didn't lose our regular Saturday nights. And that's where a bunch of these guys that, are popping up in our chat here, like Andres, are coming from. They're folks that are straggling over here from Saturday Night Fights. So
nice. Yeah, I remember listening to the podcast that you did with Harold on Harold on Games. And if you're not subscribed, go subscribe now. Harold Buchanan's podcast. It's fantastic. You did mention that he's doing that, playing the battles on the anniversary of the actual battle. And I was like, wow, that's pretty nuts. Pretty ballsy.
Ambitious.
Yeah, it's ambitious for sure, but it's actually really cool because it gives you that extra tie-in to history and it makes you feel a little more connected to it, I think, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, we got a whole bunch of stuff we got to give away here.
Yeah, we
at some
do.
point during the show, and we're like,
I was going to mention that here in a minute after a couple more things. Chet says Alien's really good. The dice system is awesome. Great to hear that. Cool. So, okay. Well, you go ahead. Why don't you go ahead first with your first giveaway?
Yeah, so I actually have a bit of a script with this one that we got to work off. So one of our seminar presenters tomorrow is game designer and magazine publisher and professor Jim Werbineth. And so he's got a 4-issue subscription for Line of Departure that he's wanting to give away. Now, there's some caveats in all of this. You got to be in the U.S. because we can't be mailing stuff overseas, and you got to be registered for the convention as one of the winners here. But if you are both of those things, both in the U.S. and registered for the convention, stuck for a good giveaway here. Somebody name one of Jim's games that he's designed in the chat. Right, everybody's going to manically type over to.
Everybody's over to Board Game Geek right now.
So you guys can all go look that up while I'm reading the official verbiage here.
Or you can do dice.
Yeah, well, Line of Departure is your go-to source for wargame reviews, analysis, and supplements. Both current and classic titles are covered. He is a five-time Charles S. Roberts Award winner for Best Amateur Magazine. Presents professional quality projects mostly from publisher, game designer, political scientist, and military historian Jim Werbineth. I know he's got like 4 or 5 other writers that also regularly contribute there as well. But he's got a 4-issue sub for Line of Departure that he's going to be giving away there. And so you're watching the YouTube chat a little closer than I am, so I will let you decide who our winner there is, and we'll bounce it against the convention registration to make sure we've got a valid winner there.
Well, Harold says first Ardennes, and then he put East Front.
Well, let's go check and see. Although I don't doubt Harold knows how to work Board Game Geek. So right now Harold is the guy leading in the clubhouse here.
John says he's sorry he's drawing a blank without Alexa.
Yeah. Fortunately, we're not trying to talk to Alexa here. So.
And Rough Swordsman, he's in the UK. Unfortunately, that is one of the caveats right now. Rough, I'm sorry about that, but because of everything with the shipping and all that stuff, it's just becoming it's a problem that we want to avoid. So we do apologize to our our event attendees that are outside the United States. This is something that we're just kind of forced to do right now, but we'll see if we can make that up to you at another time.
Yeah. Well, what we do have available for those dudes is you get to play in some of the games with people on this side of the pond without having to get on an airplane. So you do have a chance to come join us. Sort of, I got it virtually, but
Keith says Rimmel at Gazala.
Well, that's because Keith is typoing himself there.
I know. Rimmel at Gazala. Was Rimmel there along with Rommel? Sorry, Keith. I just had a Buster Chops. So he says Rommel at Gazala.
So Rommel at Gazala is an actual accurate answer there. Harold, I'm not seeing an Ardennes or East Front on Jim's in Jim's lithography there.
He's reaching. He said Ardennes, East Front, D-Day. He's just throwing out everything.
He's throwing out everything he can. So, but yeah, he one of the early ones was the Britain Stands Alone. He did have an Inchon game. He does have a couple of others, Revolution Against the Revolution. But Rommel at Gazala is sort of the one that he's a little more known for, and the one that's currently in print also, because Lock and Load Publishing has it right now. And
so Rommel at Gazala is the winner. That would be Keith Tracton.
All right. So Keith, you got email info. Send me a mailing address so that we can make sure that Jim gets you added to the subscription list for a 4-issue subscription for Line of Departure. And that is very cool of Jim to pitch in for us that way. So
let me do the one I have. One of the ones I have here. I'm going to see if this shows up on the camera because I'm doing things a little differently with this XSplit cam with the virtual background. It's working okay. But we were testing this before, and it didn't show very well. But I will say what the game is. It is from designer Mike Ranella. It is Patton's Vanguard, The Battle for Aracourt, 1944. It's from Revolution Games. And let's see if that shows. That is the game right there.
It's sort of showing.
Game. There you go. So you guys should be able to see that. It's, like I said, from Revolution Games. And what we're going to do is I'm going to do the dice, and what we're gonna do is the dark dice are going to be the 10s, and these are going to be the 1s. And everybody here, when we tell you to, we will pick a number from 1 to 100, and I will roll the dice, and the closest one to it will get it. So on your mark, get set, go, and only one number. So Harold, I don't want to see 6 numbers coming out of you.
Is this Price is Right style, closest without going over?
Closest. Well, no, it's just closest. You could be over or under, but it's the closest.
Okay. So okay.
We'll see what the numbers are.
Make sure the rules are clear for everybody up front.
1 to 100, and zeros are 0 on the 10. So.
All right. So get your numbers in, peoples.
Actually, it'll be. There we go.
Bunch of them popping in there.
776. Surprised Harold didn't put 76 in there, or 75. All right, we got some numbers coming in. Good. We'll let that go for a couple more seconds because I think we've got, how many numbers do we have in there now? We have 20 people.
Adam here has now joined us. Adam is a brave soul. Adam managed to, last Origins when we were there, managed to survive probably a good half of the War College talks that the Dragoons were putting on. So he even made it through most of the 2-hour Wargaming media panel that we had going there with me and Ardwolf, and War Games to Go was there. Jim was there, where we sat around and took stray questions from the audience about Wargaming media and what do they like, what do they not like, what do they want to see more of, what do they hate, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, Adam was a stalwart making his way through that one.
All right. Well, here we're done now with the numbers. So no more numbers. I'll give you 5 more seconds to put numbers in if you haven't already. And if not, then I'm going to roll these dice. Okay, here we go. And wow. Wow.
Somebody hit it exact.
No, I don't think anybody hit it exact, but I think, that's close. Lead magnet, you were almost there, kind of, if you transposed it. The number is 73, and I believe the closest is Ryan Heilman. And Mark had 77. 68. Hold on. 73, 76. Oh, no, he's got him by 3. That's 5. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be Ryan.
Ryan.
The number is 73, and he had 76. So, Ryan Howman, you win a copy of Patton's Vanguard.
Ryan is the man. So, Ryan, again, you've got contact info for us. Shoot over a mailing address. And, don't post it in the chat.
No. Unless you want to get seeds from China, I would not post it in there.
I always want to have faith in the wargamers that, you shouldn't have to say these things. And yet somehow, someway, not Ryan, not saying you're this dude, but there's always one somewhere that ends up,
Google data will pick it up.
You were in the Marines. Like anytime you ever saw a sign hanging up anywhere around the barracks, it was because somebody did something to necessitate that sign.
Oh yeah.
So
subscriptions were bought to different, or at least trial magazines to some things, or sent to guys in the unit.
Yep.
But so, okay, you want to do the next one?
Go ahead, because you've got a couple of games to work with there.
Yeah, yeah, I got a couple. Okay, next one is going to be from GMT. This is Wing Leader expansion number 3. So it's Wing Leader Origins 1936 to 1942. You need to have the base game or intend to get the base game, and I would recommend you do so. But that is, let's see if I can get that to show in the light, and it's probably too bright. Here we go. Wing Leader expansion. And we're going to do the same thing. Pick a number, and we will roll the dice. So make sure that, like I said, you either have the base game or you will be getting the base game for you to enjoy the expansion. So go ahead and post up some new numbers, and same rules as before. I'll roll the dice, and we'll pick a new winner.
Are we going to boot Ryan out of this one just on
Ryan? Yeah, Ryan cannot win just because, and he can't steal someone's number. So go ahead, guys, pick some numbers. And while you're doing that, you can go ahead and get ready for your next giveaway. And then what we'll do is after that, we'll take a little break from games for a couple minutes and talk a little bit more about the convention. Then we'll hand out a couple more because we've got some pretty awesome games. All right, there we go.
And then we've got some other games too.
Yes. We've got, how many games you got?
Oh, for games?
For games to give away.
Oh, you got all the games.
Oh, I've got.
We had everybody send you the games.
Yeah. Well, these are actually
the game, but
these are actually out of my stash that I'm donating, and then we have 2 more, one from Academy and one from Lock and Load Publishing that we will be doing next. And then when we get to the end, I got a couple other games.
Yeah.
All right,
so I can pull up the one from Lock and Load here in a minute.
Cool. Next 5 seconds, and then we're going to call it, and I'll start rolling dice. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. No more numbers. All right. And okay, let's see who's got these numbers here.
We need a good
drum. Oh wow. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, the number is 49, and the closest looks like it's Andre, but Andre is in Spain, and we cannot.
Andre, you're killing us, man.
Can't ship out of the country for this, unfortunately, like we were explaining before. So the next number closest to 49 would be, let's see, I think Mark, maybe. No. Yeah, Mark. I think Mark is the closest. Let's see. He
I was
had.
watching the YouTube feed right there. I was looking up the stuff from Dave.
No, he's not. Yeah, actually, he is. He's 15 away. And the closest one from that is 17 away. So, yes, that goes to Mark Gacy.
All righty, Mark.
Mark Gacy wins a copy of Wing Leader Origins 1936 to 1942, and it is Wing Leader Expansion number 3. So congratulations to you, Mark, and we will get that game out to you very soon.
And we know Mark is a valid winner as a part of the convention here because he's one of our GMs.
Yes.
So he's got the Shakos game that will be going tomorrow.
Nice. So we'll get that. Well, you got his information already?
Mark, email me the specifics there, and we will get that. We will get that over to you. So
nice.
Hey, so not just game stuff, but I'm just curious. I have the audience throw this up in some chat stuff here, and Mo, if you want to tell a war story about your own, what was the single best convention game event you ever played in? Mull that over for half a moment. See what the audience kind of comes back with here.
I've got one little one I can add in real quick.
Oh, totally.
Not a war game. Believe it or not, it was Zombicide, and which is just like, to me, it's like one of the funnest drinking games. So we were at a convention and we were just, having a few and just rolling dice and killing things. And I forget, it was a Rue Morgue, I think it was. And there were some house rules going on and stuff, but there was, I forget the rule exactly in that expansion because I had not played it before until that night. There was a rule where I guess you like get overkill damage or something like that once you get to a certain strength point or something. I forget what it was, but I had this guy had a chainsaw, and this one guy, we went into the room, a bunch of us, we had like 6 or 8 of us playing, and we all get out of the room. The one guy gets stuck in there and he's getting swarmed, and he's like, dudes, I'm gonna die. And we're like, hang on, bro, we're coming to save you. And we come running in, right? It was like something out of a really bad B movie. We come running in there. It was my turn when it got to my turn, because these guys were like just laying waste. I just started rolling and I just hit with almost everything. And the way this damage worked was when you killed one or 2 more or something like that. So like we were just laying them down, and I was just like, this is awesome. And they're like, you're standing there covered in blood, dude. And I was just like wasting these guys. And we just, afterwards, we started laughing so hard. We just had to sit down because we were exhausted from laughing because we saved the guy. And he's like, hey man, thanks for saving me. It was just hilarious. And it doesn't sound as fun as it was at the time, but those are the things that make conventions great, is when you just go there, you don't know these people from Adam, and you sit down and you start playing, and then you're best buds by the end of the game. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally.
Go ahead. Yours?
So 2008, 2009, I was at Origins, and this was back before we were running the wargaming program, back when there were still wargame companies at Origins. I was doing a bunch of stuff with the War College, but I had made arrangements to sit down and play a game with Pete Bogdasarian. And we were playing the handmade, hand-cut CRT written on a piece of notebook paper pre-release playtest version of Dawn's Early Light, which at the time was the second of the Core Command series, because the World War II game was already out. Toten Sonntag was already out, and Dawn's Early Light was coming. And again, right in my wheelhouse, right? This is Cold War goes hot in Europe in the mid-'80s, so this is perfect for me. And so we're sitting down and we're playing our way through this thing, and no kidding, I mean, these things were like printed on a dot matrix printer and glued to cereal boxes or something as we're playing this pre-release version. And the whole battle, and I want to say it ended up being scenario 2 in the game, but the whole battle literally came down to like the last roll of the dice. It was a matter of, I had to take a particular city hex in order to get enough victory points in order to flip the victory point count for NATO. And And so it's at night over a river into a city. It's like every possible negative modifier you could put on it. And we're doing the math and we're like, okay, I got to roll a 5 or a 6. And I rolled a 6. And so I took the city hex, and then we're going back afterwards and we're looking at it and we're kind of, playing back through the conversation and everything. And we're like, we did the math wrong. Like, I had to actually roll that 6. Like, it wasn't a 5 or a 6. I had to roll the 6. One of those games that, just the way it worked, it came down to literally the last roll of the dice to settle the game. And it was, we played the whole thing in 65, 70 minutes. It was just over an hour. That included some time teaching the rules, because obviously I couldn't have read the rules ahead of time or anything. It was a ton of fun. Pete was a very gracious teacher and host, and it was a blast. And those are the kinds of games that you enjoy. That it's there's clearly nobody that's just dominating or rolling the game or anything. Both sides played their tactics well for the way the sides were suited for them.
Sure.
And it happened to work out. It was a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And then for a war game one, I would say one of the ones would have to be at Harold's Convention a few years ago. When Pericles first came out, I was wanting to check it out, and Mark Herman was there, and so Mark's like, "Yeah, I'll teach you guys." So 4 of us sat down and play, and none of us had played it before. And you have to work in teams, and we're working, and everything's going good. And at the end, it turns out just the way it was. We had to, you bid your troops, and I just like shaking my hand up, and I forget what it was, how it ended up happening, but I had to like bid a few troops, and if I did, I was going to lose because just the way they bid at the end. So at the end, I'm like, okay, like this, and then I put my hand out, and it's empty. and Mark opens his hand up. He's like, it was just funny as hell. It was just great. It was so much fun. I was like, hey, what can I say? I had a great teacher. It's like you taught me your own game well, but it was fun because he's just really fun to learn a game from, because he obviously teaches his own games great, but at the same time, he just has fun with it. And it was really great. And then at the end, the interesting thing is I won Pericles that night in the drawing. So I said, Mark, you got to sign this for me. We signed it. So it was really cool. So it's a great keepsake and a great memory.
There you go. So it's always weird doing these things online, because like I got to remember to look at the camera so that it seems as though there's actual eye contact going on, but I keep wanting to watch the, like you on the screen as you're talking.
It's normal. Yeah.
That's what you're naturally attuned to. Some of the other stories coming in. So first of all, BB Mike was asking the question of whether or not he's the only one actually having happy hour as this is going on. I got my cider. We probably don't want to ask Mo what's in the red Solo cup. Oh, but somebody else out there's got to be drinking something besides skim milk. But
this isn't anything too heavy right now. So that's why the redder my face gets is the higher my blood pressure goes. Then that it's more whiskey. But
I still have a seminar to moderate as soon as we're done with this. So I can't go too many ciders in at this point. Some of the stories folks were coming in with here. So Mike, who's on here, is my own worst enemy, which is his show that his regular column that he runs over at the Dragoons. He had brought up Time of Crisis at Origins. Mike was the GM for some Time of Crisis games at Origins. I think it was 2 years ago. Might have been 3, just because we're getting old at this point. But Mike had run Time of Crisis. Well, what was cool about what Mike did with Time of Crisis is for the leaders on the map, instead of just the little counters, he had these big 54 millimeter Roman leader figures that he had walking around on the map on there. So those were kind of fun. Those added some nice ambiance to the game in there. Somebody in there, some chucklehead decided to put Yahtzee in there. So I don't know if that was actual Yahtzee or if he was just, playing some dice chucking game. So I've heard more than one person describe some of the naval games out there as naval Yahtzee. Keith is talking about MBT at WBC. So all kinds of TLAs there. And I imagine Ardwolf's best game experience at a convention probably involved Travelers somewhere sometime.
Or playing a yo-yo, because he said yo.
That could be. Although, so Gary's kind of fun. Gary's the guy that doesn't have to go to conventions to play OCS games. right? Gary's the guy that's got like 3 regular OCS groups that meet every week back home.
Wow, really?
Darn near. Gary has frequently said that the reason he doesn't play more OCS games is not from lack of opportunity. So,
what's the odds that you get 3 OCS groups in one location?
In Columbus, Ohio, very good, actually. There are a lot of OCS players there. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of guys over at Cabs that are part of the regular playtest crew for OCS. So, when I was living up there, over 10 years ago now, but I watched those guys do the playtest for Beyond the Rhine twice because they fought the whole thing through once and then they traded sides and turned around and did it again. So, Gary's down to 2 OCS.
Now only 2 now. Oh, yeah. I pity you.
Well, he needs a couple nights a week to actually do his streaming. So, there's
true.
That,
true.
He's got a couple of live games going on a weekly basis that he's streaming as well. So
do you want to do the next game?
Yeah. So one of our convention sponsors, again, Lock and Load Publishing, who, they've got 4 events on the docket. Plus, we're going to be interviewing Dave tomorrow. I say you are going to be interviewing Dave tomorrow night. And so Dave, during the happy hour, Dave has a copy of Atlantic Storm that he has given us to give out to somebody. We can do the dice again here, Mo. That seems to be working pretty well. I like the dice. Had I been more prepared, I would have had some dice here for me as well. But
so that's what you'll be getting right there is the Atlantic Storm Admirals Edition. So and that's what it'll be. So go ahead, everyone who has not won, and remember, United States within the United States only. Go ahead and put a number up there, 1 to 100, and we will roll some dice and select a winner. We'll give you a minute. Try to keep it moving because we got 2 or 3 more games to give away here. I don't see no numbers. Get those numbers up there, people. Need to play that Jeopardy music.
There is a YouTube video out there that is 10 hours of Jeopardy music on a
Oh, wow.
I don't know what sadistic bastard put that together. Probably needs to have charges brought.
That's true. All right. So Ryan's like, crap, I wish I didn't win the other one now. I want to win this one. Let me tell you something. The games get bigger and heavier as this thing goes on. So we'll give it another 20 seconds. So anybody who's not gotten their number in. Oh, Harold now is going with 76.
Ardwolf's younger than I am, so I don't think 64 is his birth year. There's a reason I like having Gary around, because then I'm not the youngest wargamer in the room anymore.
Well, I'm getting to that point where I'm still younger than a lot of the wargamers, but I'm at that point now where I do get looked at as the old man. But all right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to roll the dice. Let's see if I get these numbers here first. All right, so the first number we start off with up here was with H Tuna. All right, so wow. Hey, I think, yep. Pretty good, Harold. You picked 76. The war did start in 75, and that's the numbers, 7-5. So Harold wins on that one by 1. I don't see anybody else getting that one. So Harold Buchanan is the winner for Atlantic Storm Admirals Edition. Just get your mailing information over to Brant, and he will get that over to Lock and Load, who will send you a copy of the game.
We'll get it taken care of and get it out the door, so that won't be a problem. So so Ardwolf had mentioned in the chat the Hungarian Rhapsody in there that he's going to be starting that one here pretty soon. Hungarian Rhapsody was his contribution to our unboxing day a week and a half ago or so. You joined us with Traders of the Air from Compass Games for the unboxing day. Just curious, those of you that are chatting along, what did you think of unboxing day? Assuming you followed along and paid attention to the fact it used to be that there were a lot of unboxings that we would sort of throw throughout the month, just kind of fill in a little bit of space. And it just always seemed a little cheap that, oh, hey, look, here's a bunch of big, but like putting a whole bunch of them on one day sort of made kind of an event out of it. And it was really impromptu the first time we did it, but now we're sort of planning it. And so is it one of those things that like you guys were sort of paying attention all day long to see what was coming next, or you just sort of kind of shrugged and it's unboxings, who cares? I'm just sort of curious now that we've got an opportunity for some real-time feedback. I thought I'd ask and see what people say.
So definitely post up your feedback if you could on that real quick. And Ryan says 76 is a lucky number, and Harold says it is a fix, so jump on it. So I can tell you that these dice aren't all 7s and 6s, as you can see here. If they won't freak out. See, that's why I didn't put them up to the camera, because they blink out when you.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So I like this thing. I just kind of want to mess with it a little bit, but it is a little wonky because you can see like there's some shimmer over here on the right hand side because I don't have a green screen. So I was like, well, this is good enough for this.
The banner I've got popped up behind me is actually one that BB Mike had made. He got 3 of these made for us for the conventions, and they're all slightly different designs. Our buddy Barthart had one of his buddies who's a designer put them together for us, and we use these at the conventions to kind of help decorate the booth area and make it a little obvious that here be the War Games. Yep. So it's easy for people to find us there.
Unboxing Day, the greatest thing since sliced bread.
No, it's not a bank holiday, but it should be. It damn well ought to be.
John loves unboxings because he hates to break shrink.
Yeah. I was going to say,
someone else opening their Christmas presents.
An anti-bank holiday because it encourages you to dip into your bank account
at
that point.
Exactly.
It inflicts some damage on your wallet. I got to move the chair for this next giveaway because we do have something we got to do here. Nice. So if you saw the preview info there, we went and got convention shirts made, folks. So the Armchair Dragoons Virtual Assembly for 2020 and it's not really an official motto, but across the bottom it says virtual convention beats no convention. And so You're not literally getting the shirt off my back, but we do have a shirt we are going to give away and get shipped to somebody. And again, it's got to be stateside folks. And it can't be somebody who's already won something. And so if you want one of the shirts, Mo, you've got the dice, dude.
All righty. So put your numbers up real quick. Same drill as before. Numbers up, and we will roll the dice and select the winner. So everybody get your numbers up, and we may be getting a little low on some people. So what we're going to do is we'll kind of maybe one of these next ones, if not two, maybe we'll open it up to everybody, even those who have won before, especially the Academy game. I think that would be great to have a wider audience for that. So,
oh, heck yeah.
I do have a Lock and Load shirt on. Very good. Good eyes, Ryan. That's what Mo's shirt says. And, you know, okay, let me ask everybody while they put up their numbers. How many people got a little nervous when Brant stood up to demonstrate the shirt? Thinking that maybe there might have been something else coming. You know, it's like you can hear some music start up and the lights go, and it's like, wow, well, we get some Motley Crue going here, and the lights are going.
Yeah,
no, stop. I can be an Enron kind of guy. All right, so we've got how many more? Anybody else?
9 is not impossible. You could roll a 0-9, and that would be a 9, because the tens number does have a 0 on the die. Mm-hmm. Clearly, Tuna has not played enough RuneQuest in his life, or Traveler.
All right, we're going to give it another 10 seconds, then we're going to close this one out. And yes, pour another Manhattan when you're at it. Manhattans are awesome. All right, 3, 2, 1. No more numbers. Here we go. Wow. Okay, let's see. This is going to be tight, I think. Maybe not. So it looks like Custer 61 had 80. The roll is 88.
That might, yeah, because the only 9 in that 9 something in there is 99.
Yep. So 88, he's the closest at 80, it looks like. And yes, he's going to be the winner. So Custer61, make sure you get your information over to Brant, and we will get that shipped out to you.
Yeah, convention email is over on the main convention page, as well as multiple other places. We're not openly broadcasting it too much, just because would prefer not to end up on a bunch of, sort of Nigerian banker spam lists. Would prefer to avoid that. So
the next one we're going to open up to everybody, okay? Because this is a little different. It's for 2 to 4 players, and this is from Academy Games, one of the sponsors. This will be the first game that they're going to be giving away. So this will be the same thing. Select your number. We'll roll the dice, but this one's open to everyone. This game is Tudor, and it is for 2 to 4 players, and it is from Academy Games. So if you like Euros, this is a game that you're going to want to check out and want to play with your friends and family, especially because this is a family-friendly game. And that way we can get this out to everybody, and you'll have something else aside from just a war game to play with your family. So everybody put up your numbers, and we will roll the dice. Everybody's open to this one. Even those who have won before, except, again, only the United States, unfortunately.
Which is ironic for a game about the Tudors. So
that is true, unfortunately. And I'm getting texts from Rob Warren saying I don't look good on camera. Sorry, Rob. Sorry. I don't have the wonderful lighting, and I'm not all beefy like you are, dude.
I don't look good on camera. I don't look good off camera. I just, sort of resigned myself to not looking good. That's
why I do the hockey, on the radio stuff. It's like, I got a face for radio. All right, so numbers are rolling in, and everybody that is in the United States, and even those who won before, you can put a number in for this, and everybody will be eligible.
Ryan has self-recused because he's got a copy of the game already sitting there next to him. So
nice.
So there he goes.
Aaron says over here that it should have been titled 2 to 4. Well played, sir.
Well played.
All right, so we'll give that a few more seconds here, and then we will roll the dice and see who gets the win. Let me see here where the numbers start. I want to get all the way up here.
Hardwolf, I now have tiny little people going through my head to the tune of Shiny Happy People. So thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So,
no, Rob, I can't put on a goalie mask. I don't play that position anymore. Oh, that was only on street and roller. On the ice, it was defenseman. So, okay. So here we go. Everyone, we're done with numbers now. Everyone's done. We're going to roll the dice. And here we go. Okay. Different numbers. Wow. Totally different numbers this time. Let's see who is closest to this. Uh-oh.
Somebody hit one exactly finally?
No one's exact, but the crowd might not like this one. The number is 43. And the closest, I believe, is Keith Tracton. By one. Vax had it at 35. Oh, no, Tony Costa had 37.
There's a 37 in there because there's 35, 6, and 7.
Oh, so Tony Costa wins. It looks like, unless the judges disagree.
Because there's a 67 in there. That's too far away, and there's nobody else in the 40s or 50s.
Yep.
So I think Tony's your man.
Tony wins. So, Tony Costa, you win a copy of Tudor from Academy Games, and thanks to our sponsor, Academy Games, on that one. And we've got a couple more that I will be pulling out of my stash here in a couple minutes here, but actually in a minute. So, did you want to, before we do that?
Yeah, I'm going to let you go ahead and finish giving some stuff away. I need to bow out of here real quick because I need to go set up the the conference and the stream for the 8 o'clock seminar tonight, and just want to talk through a couple of the other seminars we got coming up real quick. The one tonight is Matt Kirschenbaum, who is a professor over at University of Maryland. And Matt's done a variety of different things over the years on archiving and maintaining games throughout the years. There was actually an article on him years ago, I want to say it was in the Atlantic, talking about trying to preserve old digital games, because it's not just the games that you got to save as sort of these artifacts, these art forms of a bygone era. You also have to preserve the hardware on which to play these things, because sooner or later the games won't run on stuff that you've still got. So if you want to see Sea Monster from 1986, right, you've got to have a 1986 vintage computer there with you in order to play these things. And so that was one of the things that Matt had talked about over the years. The talk Matt is doing tonight is actually one of my all-time favorite seminar titles, and he's actually doing it again from Connections conference from years ago. And it's a thing about data curation and war game design, and he's using Harpoon as the example. And the data curation part, like how do you update and store and maintain all the data over the years for different war games as you're going through the design and development process. But it's data curation and war game design, the example of Harpoon, and the subtitle is, or what's in Larry Bond's basement. Which is one of the all-time great seminar titles. And so Matt's going to be starting that in just a couple minutes. But some of the seminars we've got coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we've got the Georgetown University War Game Society. Sebastian, who's one of the instructors there, is going to be talking about the war game design class and the war game design program that they run there. One of his students will be talking about one of the war games that was designed in that class, and what they went through as a part of the design process there. I've got a talk on games and sims for training and learning. Jim Werbineth is doing one on coastal defense throughout U.S. history, and its impact on U.S. history. And then you've got a pair of interviews tomorrow, one with Uva and one with Dave. So we're going to be talking with both Academy and Lock and Load tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. So we've got a whole bunch of seminar goodness for you tomorrow as a part of this whole convention. Yeah. And hope you guys get a chance to jump in and, join us and see and have some fun. So.
And I'm going to have these next two that I'm going to do. I'm going to open them up to everybody, and I'm going to have them email you with their mailing information, and then just get that over
absolutely. It's totally cool. So thank you everybody for joining us here at the Virtual Dragoons Assembly, and welcome. And thanks to Mo for being the host with the most here, and being the sort of social coordinator for all the talk show kind of stuff we're doing. I'm going to flip over and get Matt set up, and we'll be over there at the top of the hour, and look forward to seeing everybody else around the game tables all weekend.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll see you around. I'm going to do these last couple of giveaways, and then we'll close out for the evening, and you go do your thing.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
All right, everybody. What we're going to do is, just like I was saying, the same as we did at the last couple of games, pretty much all of them. Pick a number and roll the dice. And what we're going to be, let's see if I can get this to show on screen. What we're going to be giving away is a copy of Ancient Civilization of the Inner Sea. All right. This is in shrink, and this is my copy here that I've got out of my stash. I got 2 games here out of my stash I'm going to be sharing with you, and this will be the first one. So everybody get a number in, everybody in the United States only, and put a number up there, and we'll roll the dice. And then we've got one more, and these are both open to anybody and everybody, except for Hardwolf, because he doesn't like meeples, so apparently he doesn't like wood. So there's cubes and discs and stuff in these games he may not like. So go ahead and put your numbers up real quick, and we will roll the dice. And Hardwolf did put a number up, so apparently you're not that against meeples or wood in your games, huh? And we will yes, you have to be registered for the convention, Jeff. As we had said before, as long as you are registered for the convention and within the United States, you're eligible for the wins that we're doing. We're keeping this for convention attendees only, because that's what everyone's here for, is the game. And of course, the first thing you do at a convention is have, well, maybe not the first, might be the last, but you have door prizes, and we don't have real doors. We have virtual doors here, but we're definitely giving away good prizes for the convention for all you guys. And we'll have some more games as well tomorrow in our Academy game and our Lock and Load interviews that we'll be doing as well. So, all right, that's it for the numbers for this game. So I'm going to roll the dice. And wow, these dice are rolling high today. All right, so the number is 98. 98 is the number. And we do have 79, Adam. He looks like he is, oh no, Keith Tracton, 85. Wow, Keith, he's just rolling. So he has got 85. I think he's the closest. Yep, it is going to be Keith Tracton, unless someone else is that I did not see. But no, Keith Tracton, you win a copy of Ancient Civilization at the Inner Sea. And just let, well, I'll let him know too, Brant, but make sure you let Brant know. And we'll clear out those numbers, and we'll do one more for the final giveaway for the happy hour tonight. And again, if you don't like wood, you may not like this one. This is Nevsky, designed by Volko Runka and from GMT. Another big game that I think everyone will like. So if you have not played this yet, you'll have your chance here if you get a chance to win. So go ahead, numbers real quick, and then we'll close out the evening once we do this last giveaway. And again, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to join us tonight, and also to be part of the convention, because can't have a convention without participants, and you guys are the best by coming in and joining us and enjoying some of the games virtually in this weird year we're all dealing with. But we don't have the same fellowship as we can when we're in person at these game tables, but we can definitely have it virtually and have a lot of fun, and hope you guys have a lot of fun and enjoy the seminars as well as all of the gaming events. And thanks to the GMs for running those, because there's a lot of great events here over the next day and a half. So take advantage of them and have a good time. All right, we got another 20 seconds, and then we're going to roll the dice. Remember, everybody's eligible, even if you've won before, but you must be from the United States. That's the only thing that we have to do a little differently, unfortunately. All right, 10 more seconds, so get those numbers in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Custer 61 is the final number to get his number in there. So roll the dice, and oh, wow. You guys are going to laugh. 20 is the number. Low this time instead of high. So the closest number is, looks like John Longshore. He's got 25. And yes, John Longshore, you are the winner. Did Blast Pop, did you get yours in time or not? Because I did not see your number. I called it done after Custer 61. So did you get yours in there, Blast Pop? Because I did not see that until after I had already rolled the dice. If not, then I'm going to go with John as the winner, because it was number 20 and John had a 25. You had 17. So I did not see that at the time, and I called it done after Custer 61. So John, you're the winner. Send your information to Brant, and he will get that information to me, and I will mail that out to you. But that's it for tonight, guys. Like I said, again, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for being part of the convention, and go out there and enjoy all of the events that we've got going for you guys, and the seminars, everything. There's a lot of gaming. Make some new friends, and play with everybody you can, and watch the games and learn a whole bunch of new games. But thanks again, guys, and I will see you tomorrow when I interview Uwe and Dave Heath from Lock and Load Publishing and Academy Games. Academy interview will be first with Uwe, and then after that will be the one with Dave Heath. But enjoy the con, guys. Have a good night.